Alright guys, what's going on? It's Will Blendon. This one's gonna be more of a blog, but it may go into business because you guys, if you really know me, you know that's really all I like to talk about is business. But I want to talk about marijuana use, and I'll tell you in a minute the reason why. As you could probably guess, I started back smoking marijuana. Let's go back to the reason why I stopped smoking in the first place. It's mainly because I became a driver. I mean, legally, you can't be around here purposely getting high and driving around passengers. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's not my goal. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I knew it was a responsible thing to do because if I stayed high the way I used to stay high, I would never get nothing done. I would never progress forward. I wouldn't even be able to start a business. You know what I'm saying? So I realized I had to quit because it basically made me lazy. The reason why I started back, and it's probably not the best reason in the world, as truth be told, I missed it, and it is very relaxing. And it's primarily because of coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. It's a little stressful. Even though I'm able to get out every day, I do what I gotta do. I get out. Up to so far, I haven't been bothered by any police. I feel like it's very hard outside of that in your real life. Like, I find it very hard to date, number one. Can't eat out. Can't go to the movies like you used to go to. And I'm a big movie person. I like to go to the movies quite often, probably too often. Some of you might call me a loser. But to go back to my point, I started back really just to relax from this whole dramatic world we're living in 2020. But through all this, you guys are going to say I'm crazy, but you can probably guess. I'm going to tell you how this is a good time to get in business. It really is. Loan companies, business and personal, are begging to give money away. I'm not bullshitting. They are begging to give money away. You just got to be in the right position for it. Now, if you got any kind of LLC, little business going, and you pay taxes, the government, is part of that stimulus for Trump, which you all know all about business, is going to give you 10 grand. I don't even think you got to give them a real excuse why you need the money. I think COVID-19 or coronavirus slowed down your business. Here's 10 grand. They're giving that to all small businesses right now. But it is going to be on a first come, first served basis. So I know even by the time you hear this video and you go run out to go find out about it, I suggest you go to your local bank. If you already have a business bank, go to that bank and inquire about it. It's through the SBA. But yeah, you're in position to get a lot of money. Now, even though I'm giving you this advice, I am not in a position to receive it, I don't believe, because my current business LLC did not pay taxes last year on that money yet. But the thing about business, they're not going to really penalize you too much if I do it at a later date. But I don't think I'm going to be in a situation to receive. And I wasn't really putting any money into the business account, the show. And, you know, if I had everything situated right and I wasn't going through this previous struggle that I'm going through with the partnership collapsing with me and my brother and us spending up all our money that we got from his 401k, I was already still struggling from those problems. So I'm not in a situation to collect this money. But if you just paid your last year business taxes, I would rush down there. And I could do it now. Truthfully, I could do it now. I could go in and do everything and probably still get this money. But I just feel it's not fair because I haven't had everything positioned the whole time properly, and I don't want them looking into how much money I'm making right now because it's a struggle. And the more I got to report, I know that sounds wrong. I'm doing it on YouTube, and somebody could report me to IRS, whatever, but I need every dollar I could get right now through these hard times. So I didn't pay taxes. So if that makes me a criminal, I guess I'm a criminal. But back to my original thought, the SBA, you position your LLC right, grocery store, bodega, anything, you can get this 10 grand, and it's not really a loan. They're giving it to you. It's just like our regular stimulus package. They're just giving it to you. My daughter did correct me. I was wrong. It is $1,200, $1,200 per person on the regular stimulus check. And then the married couple, they double that. And then $500 a kid, whatever. So you might want to look into that. I'm sure everybody in America already knows about those, but the business one, not everybody knew about. So if you properly position, you getting 10 grand tax free. I believe it's tax free. You don't have to pay it back. And you guys gotta realize this is gonna happen again. It may not be a virus, but the economy is gonna collapse like it's collapsing again. This is not gonna be the last time this happens. But I swear by Almighty God that I will be ready for the next time this stuff happens. I'm gonna get me a holding company, ironclad holding company, where you won't even know I own it. It won't be Chennai Business. Chennai Business will just be a subsidiary of that company. You know, because I'm going to take the Chennai name and start a whole nother operating company. I'm not going to sell this one or anything. I'm just going to cut the losses with this one and just take the Chennai Business name and start a brand new operating company under my holding company. The holding company, nobody's gonna know I own it. Nobody. And it's not gonna do business with nobody, the public or nobody. It's just for the purposes of holding money. That's what a real operating company, the only thing it's good for is keeping it from being sued and holding money. Meaning you will set up operating companies underneath, owned by the holding company. Those will do business, preferably in each state that you're doing something in. Like Chennai Business, I'll probably, even though it's a media company, I'll position it in Connecticut as a subsidiary or baby company of my holding company. official media company at that point. I decided I'm just going to take Schneider Business and make it a media company, simply because that's the only actual business I'm doing is YouTube. And, occasional products and services underneath the links, but things are so tight, it ain't like a lot of you is jumping on that. But check the links below. And, yeah, that's how I'm going to get out of the rat race. I'm going to build an ironclad. I even tell you some of the companies I'm going to put under it that's owned by that company. I really kind of want to tell you the name, but I'll save that for another video down the line when everything's going good. I'll tell you what that holding company name is. But I can tell you, other than the media company, some other companies I planned on building or producing. So Schneider Business is going to be the media company. I'm going to have a whole nother LLC to begin the real estate game. I got to get my personal credit up, and I will qualify between the group home, Uber, and Lyft. I will qualify for a mortgage. I'm not money-wise, I'm saying. I'm on paper, it's going to look like I make at least $30,000 a year. That'll qualify me for a mortgage for $100,000. Do I deed it in under that LLC? I may just deed it straight in, even though they tell you not to do that. But, so I'm going to have a media company, separate business address from my holding company. I'm going to have another company that's going to begin holding my real estate. Because as I'm fixing my credit, if anybody looks up to see if I have any assets, they will not see anything because it won't be under me. That's my goal. I want to even put my first property under an LLC. Call me paranoid. Maybe it's the marijuana. But I don't want nobody, old or new, to look my name up, William Bootsy Blandon, and see no assets. Because I got a lot of old issues that might not be necessarily cleared up by credit repair. Credit repair will take it off paper when you look up my social, but people can still come after you, even if it's not on your credit report, if you have something for them to take. Me being always thinking ahead, even when I have some shit, you won't know I have some shit because it'll be so segregated that it'll look like on paper I have nothing. I'm talking cars, property. I'm not paranoid now. Maybe part of it is just, the end of the world now. But on paper, I don't want to show that I own anything. So the holding company, I'm going to have a media company. I'm going to have the property company. And then I'm going to have a whole nother company that I'm not going to call it a transportation company for tax reasons. You don't want to call it ever transportation because you're going to get hit hard with taxes and insurance. You can call it, not necessarily taxes, but more so the insurance. Insurance is going to hit you hard because that's a higher risk business. But I will start a transportation company with a generic name. You know what I mean? It's blank services. So you don't know it's a transportation company. This way I'll get better rates on insurance. I'll still have coverage. The cover if it's a collision or whatever, got passengers in, but it'll be cheaper on the insurance because it's not a high risk business. You see what I'm saying? Don't call all these other transportation companies, they call it transportation. That's a mistake. And then within the transportation company, once I have, that's a whole nother thing we got to get into, corporate credit. I'll have enough corporate credit on the holding company by the time all this happens. We're talking on these like 6 months for all this to happen. And then, I could go in have the personal property under that one LLC. The transportation company is because of what you guys see I'm doing. Uber and Lyft. That Uber and Lyft money will go into my transportation company. The cars will go into the transportation company. So eventually I won't even own any cars. This Chevy Trax, I will take out of my name and sell it to my own business. I'll have it on paper and everything. Blank Services is buying the Chevy Trax for, you see what I'm saying? And then show the money being moved for the sale of the vehicle. So I plan on trying to pull this off, guys. I know it sounds like I'm talking a lot of shit, or he's just high, but I'm telling you, the holding company is the way to success. And then if anybody looks me up, let's say I get in a car accident with my transportation company, the car's in the name of the transportation company, I hit somebody, I get sued. You know, normally they would try to take your house because you got, even though you're in a business vehicle, they will try to sue William Blandon because he has a house. But in this situation, they can only sue the transportation company and maybe take some cars away from me, or take money from the transportation company, but they won't take my house. See what I'm saying? They can't get to my house. My house will be segregated in a whole nother company. And I will pay rent to myself. You guys are like, oh no, he's going overboard. No. I will do a standard lease, pay rent to myself, along with the lights, electricity, and everything, pay rent to myself. It'll flow up to the company that's holding my property and then go back up to my holding company. Where do I get a check? The holding company. All these businesses will just flow up the money to the holding company. And I will only get a check from the holding company. I won't get a check from this business, this business. I will only get a check from my main holding company, which will probably be in Wyoming or Nevada for tax reasons, so, and anonymity. So you won't know that I own the business. Yes, I'm just paranoid. Yes, I did have enough money. It sounds like I'm answering questions, but I'm not. I'm not reading anything. I'm just saying what I'm thinking people are going to be thinking. You know what I mean? That yes, I did make a lot of mistakes in business, but I'm learning from those mistakes. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes I did. So this is why I'm throwing these videos together. And I know I don't get a lot of views, but in the future, somebody's going to look back at this video and be like, this dude sound like he's on to something. I think I'm going to keep watching. A few amount of people, not so much now, but later on down the line, will come across my channel and be like, this dude's on to something. He's not paranoid. When you're poor like I'm poor, and you slowly get into this business world, you don't want to let nothing go. Like, I'm probably going to shelter everything in my life financially. And believe it or not, this pandemic is actually going to help me because it slowed down some things. Like, for example, I had a speeding ticket, and now they can't automatically take it to court. They're trying to settle it online. Thanks to coronavirus. This is how they're doing stuff now. It wasn't a speeding ticket. It was a ticket because of my car, the registration expired. They could tow it when that happens, but they didn't tow me. They see, oh, he's not trying to game us. He's got insurance. So they didn't have me towed. This was right before they started shutting down stuff. for the coronavirus. So they're the fact that you don't have any you have the generic name for your transportation company. Your insurance rates are low. Your home business, your home can be your media company. You can make your media company owner of the house, but I say keep them separate. I say keep your media company separate, because I may even say some stuff on a channel and get sued down the line. You want that separate from your house. So yeah, I would have that separate house own that own my actual property. I would be paying rent to the LLC, most likely, that owns my actual house. I'll pay rent, the lights, everything. Because by funneling the money around like this, you're going to save in taxes. I know it sounds crazy, and no, I'm not a CPA, but these are like tax strategies that I'm learning from other people. Not like I'm just throwing it out in the air. These are like CPAs and real estate lawyers that I'm hearing their information. That's where I'm getting this information. It's not like I'm just pulling it out of the air. So I'm not trying to teach financial advice or anything. It's just, this is what I'm learning. So you have everything segregated, and all the money, after paying their bills individually, all the money, all the profits, just the profits, go up to the holding company. So your majority of money that you got coming in to start your business just needs to go to your holding company. And then your holding company sets up the other businesses. So your holding company is where you need to put majority of your money. So eventually all my money is going to go in the holding company, then cut me a check. So let's say I only have $1,000 a week. Let's say $1,000 a week. Eventually I want to have it where all my money goes into the holding company. So I would put $1,000 a week in the holding company, but I would actually only pay myself out a check of $600. And even out of the $600, it might even be less. It might only be $500. And then have that $500 check take out personal tax and everything to pay me, and I'm just the employee of that holding company. That's it. I am just I'm the owner, but you don't know I'm the owner because I have that concealed too. There's a way you can do that. So if you look up the corporation, you're gonna see the lawyer, basically, the lawyer or CPA name that set it up for me. You're gonna see his name. But what no one sees is he transferred power and ownership of that corporation to me. So it's technically mine, but when you look it up, it looks like it's owned by him. You can do that. I'm telling you, that's the stuff I'm learning. You can do that. So that's the goal. Have a holding company by this summer. Oh, that's what I was saying. The pandemic is slowing things down, like tickets and stuff like that. So I don't have to put any money towards that bullcrap. If I fall behind on my car note, it's okay. I call them up, tell them how long it's going to take to pay it, whatever. You could do that now because of the pandemic. Even my insurance. I have it where my insurance automatically comes out, but I like to just make sure I got my money in, but when they pull it, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll turn off the automatic payment thing. You can do that now. And if you want to pay at a later date, it's okay because they understand with this pandemic. But the government is saying they can't even shut you off. So everybody can't be shut off from their insurance, but I believe I don't want to let those bills get behind. Some of you guys are going to be ghetto and you're probably going to let it get behind on purpose. I don't want to do that. If I can, I'm going to scrounge up and pay my car note. It won't be on time. It'll be the normal late, because I'm late anyway. It'll be the normal late, which is probably like, for me, 10 days, whatever. So I'm going to pay that late, because I know I need a car, but I'm not going to stress out. And if I have to pay it late, you can pay it even later, because they're not going to really shut you off. You know what I mean? You just call it, but they're going to keep billing you, so you might as well keep trying to pay it. So my goal is to try to pay it. I'm probably going to end up paying everything as usual, but I'm paying late. I'm going to focus hard on getting as much money as I can into my holding company. So eventually I want to funnel about at least $1,000 a week into my holding company to get it going, and then start paying myself a check. And with that actual check is actually all I'm going to use to pay personal expenses. I'm going to get it to this point. So you're putting $1,000 in, but you're only taking back 10. And the reason is for this, you want to look like a real just employee. And you want to live on a budget of just that check for your personal stuff. Now your business stuff can come out of the business, that's fine. But you don't want to be just pulling out money for your business to go buy sneakers or weed or, you know what I mean? You just want to have your own personal money for that. The key is to get your business going. In about 6 months' time, your holding company will probably have enough money in it to borrow with no personal signee. This is what I'm talking about. No personal signee. So while I'm working on my credit, I could probably still pull this off, because my personal credit is not as high as I want it to be. In about 4 to 6 months, you'll get the corporate credit. There will easily be a loan in there that can provide you with enough to get a nice used car. And where's that money going? Start the transportation company. Because this car is not going to last forever. It's only a 2015, but I'm killing it on Uber and Lyft. So now I have enough money, I could buy a nice quality. Keep in mind, all the cars are going to be rock cheap because the economy's plummeted. So I'll be able to get a quality used car with less miles than my tracks for probably only 5 to 10 grand. I would say probably only 5. 5 grand, you'll be able to get a quality used vehicle. And then I may get a small loan. The company is going to set up the company, or the corporation. They're only going to charge about 3 grand to get all this going. But the corporate credit, they guarantee 20,000 that they'll get in physical corporate credit without a personal signee. So I'm not going to go buck wild with that money. I'm just going to put that in assets for the company, because I'll get a quality. I'll probably get a longer minivan that can make more money, and that's going to start off the transportation company. I may move the Chevy Trax into that company. I may sell it to the transportation company. So I have 2 vehicles. Now I have 2 vehicles. All I got to do is find a driver. And now what begins my transportation company. You guys get it? One person at a time, I could build a transportation company. Now that car is bringing in more money. You know what I mean? By then I'll have more corporate credit. I'll go buy another. I may buy another vehicle. But this one I'll make it probably another big vehicle. I'll probably give all the minivans to drivers, because they could make the XL money. Put them on the XL. I was hoping for Trip to get their shit together for all this to happen, but I'll probably gotta do it with Uber. So I get all this going. let's say I have 2 minivans, 6-passenger minivans with 2 drivers. Now the company's starting to slowly grow, my transportation company. Meanwhile, I have my property company with just my personal home in it. By now, I have at least $30,000 of an actual check from my company coming to me personally. So that shows my borrowing ability. It's only $30,000. It doesn't have to be a lot. Once you get to $40,000, $50,000, now you can borrow and get into some bigger properties. So now I may go get another property, make this one a little bigger, 2-3 family, put it out. I'll probably keep it under the same LLC as my home. If I'm really paranoid, I'll put it in a separate one, but just because I like each state to hold, wherever I buy property, I just want one LLC per state, if that makes sense. So I probably would just keep it under the same LLC. You know, it's going to be hard to sue the company anyway, because if you sue the company that holds my property, you're going to have that change in order situation because my holding company actually owns it. So I'm not worried about getting sued or them trying to take my property. You know what I mean? Plus you have insurance on each property, stuff like that. But nobody will know I own it. So if something happens to me, hopefully the goal in life for you guys to see, and I'll try to wrap it up because I know I'm just rambling on, is get to the point where you're corporate all the way around. Everything in your life is corporate, even if you're a little corrupt. Because I know some of you, I don't want to say the N-word, but some of you brothers out there is somewhat corrupt. You know, but you're trying to get back right. You're trying to go legal. I get it. This is one of the ways to begin getting out the game and going legal. Setting up a corporation. Not to do money laundering. I'm not saying that. Don't mix money. If you're doing some dirt with some money somewhere else, keep that separate. But you can start going legitimate over here doing this, separate. You know? By all means, don't put no drug money into your corporation. Because keep in mind, this corporation is going to be like a separate person in a way. Because it was set up so they don't even know you own it. So for you single men, do this shit before you get married. You know, it just makes sense. Do all this shit before you get married. Your wife won't even know you own this corporation if you set it up properly. Really, think about that. I mean, you could do it as you're married, but it gets tricky because they can trace back to when you were married, and let's say you start the business after you're married.